the government, when the United Nations, when the world power do not recognize the will, do not respect the will of Baluch people in their land. That's the main root cause. Whenever the international community respect the Baluch rights for their self-determination, for governing their resources, their lands, all these atrocities will fade away. I am, as an Ahwazi activist who attended several UN sessions, I am fully stand with the Baluch right for their self-determination and for their dignity and their land. There is no doubt about it. Second, when I know some of the students are here, if we want to talk about the forced disappearance, torture, the students and academics, they need to get their credible resources. I would remind you about one speech that a consultant to the previous Iranian president, Hassan Rouhani, a lady, she said that we have executed all Baluch men in one village under pretext of drug dealing. Imagine the level of the atrocities that is happening against Baluch. All men in one village has been executed, and this is not my word, by the way. It's the Iranian president's consultant. She said they have executed all the men. Look at the level that the people in Balochistan, they are facing. But the problem is, where is the United Nations? Where are the other international human rights bodies and individuals? Unfortunately, we have seen a little attention from the United Nations. The problem is twofold. First of all, the United Nations and other organizations, they get their reports from Human Rights Watch, from Amnesty International, and these organizations, unfortunately, they are being running and they get their resources from people who has a center viewed to the government of the where they live. For example, if we talk about the, let's say, Balochistan in Pakistan or in Iran or anywhere else, the Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch, they have people working with them who are like-minded with the governments of Iran and Pakistan. And that has added up to the atrocities of the Baluch and other non-Persian nations in Iran and other places. That's the same thing. The other problem is United Nations, as you know, whenever they find out there are severe human rights violation happening in Pakistan, in Iran, or other neighboring countries, they assign a United Nations special rapporteur. And that person need to document and file a human rights record, a violation record, every 4 years. For that report, unfortunately, again, we have found a problem that the United Nations are accompanied or with the people that are like-minded with the governments, and they only report the human rights violation that are within the capital or with the surrounding areas, not the cities.
Sorry.
Again, these had added up to our atrocities, to the forced disappearance, to the torture, to the executions that has been added to the burden of the Baluch people around the world. This video, which has been played here within 15 minutes, it's enough to wake up those organizations that are silent due to either political pressure or they try to close one eye and not to try to deal with the reality that is happening around the world. Look at the, let's say, in our region, for example, Ahwaz, in 2019, what happened where we have got Mahshur or Mahshar massacres, 200% being killed in 1 hour in 2019. We don't want to go far, far away. January 2026. Look at the, when I say neighboring countries, in 2 nights, what happened in Iran? Unfortunately, Iran said 3,000 been killed, but more than 50,000 has been killed in 2 nights in January 2026, where there were credible resources. They said when the massacre killed, the regime has brought its tankers to clean the blood from these streets. This is what we have seen, but what has been reported to the media, it's a drop in the ocean. So the problem, and we are looking for the reality, not for the media where it broadcasts just 1% or 2% of the reality. Executions are high. Why? With the unfair courts trial, easily they can label you as either coordinating with the spies, with the Western countries, with, I don't know, nowadays with the terrorist group. It's easy. For example, many people in Balochistan or other areas in Ahwaz, Kurdistan, South Azerbaijan, in order to make the execution goes easily, the governments, they said, we have arrested these person, whether men or women, in connection with the terrorists, ISIS or AKs. First of all, to bring this view to the Western countries that this person is in contact with the terrorists, so there would be no sympathy. But this person is innocent. And if anybody talks about his innocence or her innocence, they said, oh, you are like-minded with the terrorists. No. We must not listen to one part of the story. For the fair judgment, for the fair result, especially for the students who are looking for the true academic report, they must not listen to the state-funded reports, because we know that those reports are going through severe check by the intelligence services, and majority of time it is funded by that government in order to protect them not to be credible for any, let's say, any it could be, for example, anything like you have done these court and these judgment, but in reality it is not. The best practice for the fact-finding mission, for the, I would say, the fair academic report, first they need to bring the report that's been provided by the state, the problem, and then work how to defend the innocent people. That, for example, this is the state by the this is the report provided by the state, perfect, and this is the reality that we have interviewed people in Pakistan, in Iran, in Afghanistan, in Iraq, or any other place in the world, and try to show the reality in the time where unfortunately the reality being hidden nowadays due to several measures, and we all know what are these measures, either by the political pressure, or sometimes if you want to talk about the reality, your family would be under pressure, or the, I would say, a risk of being harmed by the intelligence services. I wouldn't take much of your time, but I am a doctoral researcher, but in different contexts. But please, you are the messenger of hope. You are the reporter for those moms who has been talking here and they are voiceless. Their voice has been forgotten. Please, please, for the sake of these mothers who are waiting since 2000 and onwards to see their beloved ones. Imagine if that the case happened to you, what will happen? Do you stay silent? Never. So please, I would request to all of you, whenever you write your report, don't rely on the state report. However, look at these moms. These are the best evidence to speak out. I know it is not an easy job, but remember, the truth needs a strong heart, strong will to go forward. Thank you for your time. And your support. Thank you.
I would also kindly ask my speakers to, because of our time constraint, we would like them to keep it within 10-minute window.